The long winter wait is over as MotoAmerica Superbikes fire up race engines for the first time in 2019. When we last left our heroes, Yamaha's Cameron Beaubier rode a 7-race mid-season win streak all the way to his 3rd national championship. But the field is stacked with hungry racers trying to knock off the Californian, led by 2017 champion Tony Elias, who has motive, opportunity, and desire to grab back the title. And Tony's new teammate, 2013 Superbike champ Josh Haren, was something to prove. Add in Superbike sophomore and teammate to Beaubier Garrett Gerloff, well, it's his year to deliver. Plus, the likes of race winner Matthew Schultz, Supersport champ J.D. Beach, and returning from World Superbike, star Jake Gagne, and so many other ripping fast riders. Things are about to get crazy as the EBC Brakes class invades the hills of Brazelton, Georgia, right now on Fox Sports. It's time for the 2019 MotoAmerica AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship, round number 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Suzuki Championship at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. My name is Greg White, standing alongside Jason Pridmore, who's won 2 national titles at this level, as we prepare, Jason, for the EBC Brakes Superbike class. And you know what? Before we get all this rolling, let's talk about the season, Jason. I mean, it looks like on paper that we are going to have one of the most competitive seasons in the Superbike class ever.
No question. I think there's so much hype based around MotoAmerica this year, not just in our country, but worldwide. I think there could be 7 or 8 guys battling for the wins this year. I think there could be 6 legitimate guys that can win races. So I think it's going to be a tight championship, and it should be fun to watch it.
Now, we have 4 factory seats. We have 2 Suzuki and 2 Yamaha seats, Jason. Now, 2 of those, 1 Yamaha, 1 Suzuki, occupied by veterans and national champions. On the Yamaha side, we have Garrett Gerloff, who's in his sophomore season. And then we have, I don't want to call him a rookie necessarily, Josh Haren, because he's won races last year. But in terms of factory ride on Suzuki, he's brand new. So looking at those 4 riders, who do you look to see? Who do you think is going to be the favorite of those 4?
It's hard to pick a favorite, and Josh Haren has won a Superbike championship, let's not forget.
Yep.
So he has fought his way back to a factory seat. I think he's going to be very tough, and I think he could be the wrench that kind of gets thrown in the mix with all this because he's going to be winning races. I still think the championship's got to go through number 1, though, Cameron Beaubier. The guy's just so strong, so smooth, and I know him and Tony are going to have some really big battles. I feel like Garrett Gerloff had his sophomore jinx last year in his freshman year. I think he's going to come back stronger this year, and I'm hoping that we're going to get to see the number 31 more up front.
Yeah, our pole position sitter was Garrett Gerloff, but did he have a good run at it? Well, let's find out in Race 1 highlights from Road Atlanta right now.
That's right. Yesterday, Greg, we saw Garrett Gerloff take his first pole position, but it was J.D. Beach on the attack Yamaha coming from the 2nd row, leading into turn 1 in what was his first Superbike race in 7 years. But it wasn't too long until he was overhauled by 3 of the fast guys, including Garrett Gerloff, who was on pole, but 3 laps in, he was in the gravel in turn 1, wondering how he can change things up for race 2 as Josh Haren then started to fight with his teammate Tony Elias for the lead. Now, this was a pattern that we saw. These 2 guys went back and forth, and every time they did this, the pack right behind, battling for 3rd, was getting closer. As Josh Haren tipped into turn 10 with about 6 to go, he asked a little bit too much of that front tire and tipped over, and it allowed Cameron Beaubier to actually close right onto the back of Tony Elias. And then these 2 guys, we've seen these battles for the last 3 years between these 2. With 3 to go, Cameron Beaubier outbrakes Tony down into turn 10. And as they came up over the top of the hill, out of turn 10A, it looked like Tony had an idea to go up underneath, but he outbroke himself a little bit. You see that rear wheel hopping. He was lucky to get any points out of this as he went off the track, and it allowed Cameron Beaubier to come from the 4th row after a day of frustration yesterday to win the opening round of this MotoAmerica season, and a very close fight to the end that saw Tony Elias beat J.D. Beach line by 1/1000th of a second.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, more coming at you from Road Atlanta, so don't go anywhere. The Suzuki Championship at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. Getting ready to kick off this Superbike race. The 2017 champ is Tony Elias on that Suzuki. And our very own Hannah had a sit down with Tony. Check this out.
How does it feel to be back at Road Atlanta, going into a team you've established a really close relationship with, on a bike you know really well now, especially after, you know, finally getting set up, figured out for that tire at the end of the season, the new tire?
Yeah, it was kind of difficult, found the way, but finally we found it, and we could finish the season in a really strong way. And yes, the most important thing is have continuity in a team, continue that relationship where these people become your family. The bike is your tool, is the tool you know, the tool you have a lot of hours of work inside, experience in a different condition. So I think in that way we always are strong and strong. We keep growing, but the championship is so long and we cannot control many things. We will be focused on control what we can control, but the other things will be, it's not in our hands, it's destiny, it's luck. So I just hope to create a little bit of that in a good way.
Now you have a new teammate this year.
Yeah.
And you've gotten the opportunity to test with him a little bit during the off season. Tell us a little bit about what that's been like.
Well, we hear some names at the end of last year, but if we saw the results and who deserved more that bike was Josh Haren. No? He did an amazing season, super good results, some good wins. So he deserves that bike, and of course he's one of the dangerous guys next to Cameron or next to Garrett. We'll have more surprises, but have him next to me is, I know he's dangerous, but also is a big motivation for me. The most important for a team like Suzuki is have two strong riders. I think together we can make a good work to improve this bike, and the main thing, make a good work for Suzuki, you know?
Now you also have a new addition to your family. How's that been like, you know, having a new baby son, only a few weeks old now?
Yes, we keep it a little bit secret, but at the beginning of this year we announced we are going to have a baby. So the baby arrived 15 days ago. It's been the biggest and most nice experience of my life. Total respect for all women. Do that is an amazing job. I don't know how you do it, but yes, I'm super happy. We're handling at home the situation really good. Christy, my girlfriend, is doing the main job because I have to be concentrated to start this new championship. But I didn't expect have this motivation. This little monkey is giving me wings. I hope to take profit of this.
All right, here we go. Race number 2. Watch those red lights. Good launch from Garrett Gerloff and Tony Elias.
Look at JD Beach again, Greg, from the second row. JD's trying to lead it into turn 1, and he will, as Tony Elias just jumps in right behind him. Garrett Gerloff's going to be third. Josh Haren gets pushed wide by Skultz as they head up the hill into turn 2 on the opening lap. Looks like Jake Lewis back there in 6th.
So JD Beach, Attack Performance, Estenson Racing, Yamaha, doing quick work, trying to get the break again.
And again, Greg, what changes did they make overnight? We didn't get to see these Superbikes go out this morning because of the weather. The rain had come last night, wet the track. None of these guys got a chance to really go see if any setup changes they wanted to make had worked. So JD might be riding on something obviously a little bit different than yesterday, and we'll be able to really start to tell in certain sectors of the track. It looks like Cameron Beaubier has made quick work of most of the field again, Greg. He's got himself already into 6th place as they head down the back straightaway.
The list of changes, by the way, the list of changes for JD Beach were electronics, fork, and shock. Not a whole lot.
Yeah,
just
everything.
Changes,
just everything.
Yeah. So experimental time right now is Tony Elias on the 24. Goes deep into turn number 10.
And same with Josh Haren. He fell out on that bike yesterday. He didn't even get to go out it this morning. This is literally his first flying lap on that bike. So JD Beach going to come across the line lead as we come out of the last corner. Tony Elias second, Garrett Gerloff in third.
Gerloff using the corner speed of that Yamaha R1, the momentum taking him across the track. There's Matthew Schultz. Schultz and his team taking an educated guess. Now, with the sophistication of the electronics now on the Westby Racing Yamaha, Matthew Schultz has a choice of 3 different traction control maps, basically, okay? He started on one where they actually took traction control out because he felt like that the TC was holding his motor back yesterday. He has a second map that's kind of halfway between yesterday and the new map today, and he has yesterday's if he needs to switch.
Yeah, so if the traction control gets a little obtrusive to where the rider doesn't feel like they can get the power to the ground, or they're getting the power to the ground, they're opening up the throttle more than they want, but the traction control is kicking in a little bit too much, then he'll have some different maps to go to. And that can also change as tire wear and things go like that. They can start to change and mess with some of that stuff a little bit. But again, the map that he's on right now, he didn't get to try this morning. Look, Josh Haren was trying to sneak underneath him as they go down, and he did. Josh Haren was able to make that pass on Matt as they head down the hill.
Second place out the back. Great onboard shot of Garrett Gerloff. You see his body position, the way he works that throttle. By the way, Cameron Beaubier is joined right behind Schultz, who's now relegated back as Josh Haren took that position. So from 11th on the grid again, Beaubier trying to make it to the front.
Here comes Tony. He's going to try to go up underneath him as they go down into turn 1. And what he does by doing that, Greg, he makes a very early commitment. Let's see if he can keep the bike tight. He does. He makes a very early commitment to get down there. So essentially what he's doing is he's making the track shorter. And in turn 1 there, it's a 3rd gear turn on these bikes. So he gets that back shift done and goes straight to the apex of the corner to try to beat JD Beach to the apex. And that's how he's able to make that pass. We've seen him do it a number of times over the years.
Yoshimura Suzuki factory racing machine out front. Tony Elias, there's his teammate Josh Haren in his second race on that bike. His debut season on that team. As Tony Elias now working his 4th season.
I talked to a couple of people this morning and asked about how Cameron's tire looked, and they said Cameron's number 1. He's usually really good on tires anyways. Number 2, his tire looked really good yesterday. His ability now, I think, obviously with his experience, 3-time Superbike champion and so on. Oh, you see JD getting close to the edge. Cameron's probably just going to sit there now. There's none of these guys are really going away, and you can see Josh Haren looked like he went underneath JD Beach.
Looks like
as
JD
they
got
head down the hill.
Up.
Yes,
he
did.
From 2nd to 4th, just like that.
Oh, Matthew Schultz trying to go underneath JD as well.
JD getting beaten up right now. It looked like for a second Beaubier was going to try to sneak on up the inside of 10B.
Yep, JD's trying to come back. Nope. The thing is that when you get a 3 or 4 bike draft down that back straightaway, it's so easy to get drawn in there. It looked like Matthew had a little bit of that as he started tipping in to turn 10. But look what's happened at the front. Tony is trying to break up the field a little bit. 25.6, 25.6. He told me last night that he felt like he could get into the low, mid-25s and break up the field. He was looking back quite a bit to see where Cameron was. You could see Matthew's in deep. He kind of had to let the brake off just to kind of go up underneath JD.
JD tried to dirt track, kind of squared it up.
Correct.
Tried to square it up a little bit, but Schultz able to hold on it. So it's 24, Tony Elias, 31, Garrett Gerloff, number 2, Josh Haren behind him, number 11, Matthew Schultz. That's that black and gold bike in the background. And then you have JD Beach on the 95, and 1 is Cameron Beaubier.
You see what happens here, though. These 2 guys, you can see just the tiniest of gaps opening up, can't you? And it's a matter of now, can they run these times lap after lap? Especially through those first couple sectors. Matthew Schultz with the fastest first sector. They're all very, very close, though.
Listen to the RPMs on that onboard.
Yeah, it's so good that we've got these camera shots. This is out the back of Tony's bike, looking back at Garrett Gerloff. Now, if they can just kind of, what this is going to do ultimately, in my opinion, is it's going to make Cameron kind of start to get the hurry up. And there you go. He's past JD as they go into that final corner. He can start to see a trend already, can Cameron, that these guys are trying to get away. JD Beach is going to pull right back up alongside of him, though, and try to go past him as they go into turn 1, and he's going to be able to do it. Now, this is where that starting from the 4th row gets harder, because now we're seeing all the way back. Cameron Beaubier goes 25-1 on that lap. But he's, what is he, Greg? He's almost 2 seconds behind the front-running guys. 25-4 to 25-2 for Garrett Gerloff. So Cameron's going to have to start to go through some faster guys. When you try to go through faster guys, what can happen to your tires? You can start to wear them out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Everybody is on the soft, not the extra soft. And that was just a cautionary move by Dunlop. A lot of the riders had the one dry session on Friday. A lot of them used this tire. So there was
Josh Haren runs wide in turn 7. Sorry to interrupt you, Greg.
So Haren up and out. So now all of a sudden Cam Beaubier gets a position back. So Haren with a miscue.
Keep in mind, it literally is the 4th lap that Haren's done on that bike from his crash yesterday. I mean, he's going to hang in there, and that might be the best thing that could have happened to Josh right there, because he'll be able to close that gap back up to those 3 in front. But now we got those other 2 guys kind of, they have a tiniest of tiniest brakes. Matthew Schultz is the next guy that's going to try to catch back up to them.
That was off Beaubier. Through the final corner. Schultze having a great run at it on the 11. So Beaubier this time around will go 25-6 after setting the fastest lap of the race the lap before, with Tony Elias setting his personal fast lap, 25-4-4-3. So Tony trying to do what he loves to do, which is just go ahead and check out a little, see who's got the pace.
Bike looks solid at the top of the S's, and Garrett is doing a tremendous job too. You know, Garrett didn't get those laps. The worst part about crashing early in a race is you don't get to come back with a lot of feedback or a lot of data for your crew. That said, his bike has looked tremendously solid all weekend long, and the other advantage is that nobody else really got to go try any setup changes that they made. So Garrett knew what he had underneath him, and Matthew Schultz, 33-4 in that first split, has now reeled in and passed Garrett. Garrett had a mistake. Garrett, is that body work, Greg? It looks like he's got some body work on the right side of his bike. I might be wrong. Look on the right side. Yep.
Yeah, hand in
Garrett
the air.
Gerloff has a problem. Man, he has some bad luck.
Is it a fender maybe,
It's
Jay?
a fender, or something is hanging off the right side.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to kick it off. I mean, what is, it's a fender.
It is.
The fender has come off.
Come off on the
We
right
just gotta
side.
hope that thing doesn't.
And the one
that
thing you
is
don't
so
want
bad.
is it for...
He's trying to rip it off, and there's no way. Now he's off the track, and yeah, there's no way. Man, it would have been so much better had he just pulled in and they could have got that thing off and he could have got back out. Now he's got to do another full lap with it like that, and it's going to be impossible. Yeah.
He's trying to get it off, but on
How's
that side,
for luck? That is just horrible luck for Garrett Gerloff. I could see it when he tipped into turn 7. Something happened.
The thing I worry the most, Jason, is that if that comes off at full lean angle and gets under the rear tire.
So bad. And now the problem is, that actually created a gap back. Matthew Schultz is taken to the fight, though. Look at him, 25-1 that last lap by for Matthew Schultz, 25-3 for Tony Elias. I had a really good discussion with Matthew before the start of this race today, and this tire change might make a difference. You can see Garrett, he's still going, and the guys behind him have got to be scared too, because you can see that. And Dave Anthony goes up underneath him, or tried to.
Garrett Gerloff still out there racing. Now, there is procedures for this. If MotoAmerica deems this is an unsafe...
Oh, they will, Greg.
Yeah,
no
unsafe situation. They'll give him what they call the meatball flag.
Black flag. They'll just flag. He just needs to try to get himself down that back straightaway and get into the pits. He's not going to be able... I don't think he's going to be able to break it off. That's the thing.
And there's his crew. 9 laps to go in this one. It's settled down at the front. This is the battle for the lead. Tony Elias, 24. Yoshimura Suzuki leading the way. Westby Racing Yamaha. Number 11 is Matthew Schultz. That's the gold and black bike. Second one of your screen just behind him on the blue and yellow. Yamaha is number 95, JD Beach. That is on the Attack Performance Estenson Racing Yamaha. And then on that Monster Energy Yamalube Yamaha Factory Racing is the number 1, our series champion. There he is, Cameron Beaubier. From 11th on the grid yesterday. He missed Super Pole qualifying because of an issue with his clutch. Was able to take it to the race win.
Starting to see bikes move around a little bit more for sure there, Greg, out of turn 7, and you can see that gap, huh? And this might be the difference of where those tires are as well. The difference in tires and things.
in terms of like the setup from the extra soft from yesterday to today.
Yep.
And again, keep in mind that Attack Performance, that's their first time here at Road Atlanta with this motorcycle because they missed last year.
Yep.
So yesterday was a data gathering session for them, where now he'll be going, you know, Richard Stamboli and the crew will be going to racetracks they're more familiar with from this point forward.
I think you're going to start to see, you're probably going to start to see Cameron try to do something with JD in the next lap or so. There's just getting to be the tiniest of gaps right now. You know, JD's still hanging in there, 25.5. It's weird what 2/10 looks like on TV to me. But if the gap starts to get just a little bigger, Cameron might try to do something here. JD's actually pretty good up in this little section.
I mean, the pace is hectic. 25.3
is a lot faster than yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Cameron did a 24.9 back on lap number 8 as the fastest lap of the race. So that's only 0.4 of a second off what they're doing. As we notch back here, Jason, who are we seeing?
Well, we see David Anthony just gone past our screen, then Kyle Wyman, Cam Peterson. Great to see Cam Peterson back. And he's getting a good look at that Ducati right now. Jeff May, just right behind them, I believe, is running in this group.
I want to make a comment. You see the wings that are on the front fairing of Kyle Wyman's Ducati V4R. The impact of those wings down the back straightaway, Jason, is pretty significant. At 160 miles per hour, those wings create 70 pounds of downforce on the front end.
Oh, Cameron Peterson lost the front there. Sorry, Greg, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
and Jeff May saw that as well and sat up real quick also.
One of the things that allows Kyle Wyman's Ducati is when they come up over the back, as they kink over the crest of the hill on the back straightaway, he can hold it flat and he doesn't have to worry about traction control or anything because there's so much downforce on the front of that Ducati.
Yeah, that's Kyle's got to be happy to have that bike underneath him, and I know it's only going to get better. Now, we saw JD Beach. He's responded pretty big on the last quarter of that lap, last half of that lap. There was a gap going down through the S's, and it isn't really there anymore. So JD is right there trying to go with these other two guys still. Where are they at that lap? 25.7, 25.5, 25.4 for JD. He was the quickest in the group that last lap.
Now, I mentioned, Jason, that there are different maps available for these riders, so on board they can make adjustments as they see fit. I was talking with Matthew Skultz about it, and I said, look, where can you actually mess with the map? Where can you change it? And he says, strategically, we only do it on the back straightaway or on the front straightaway because you can only change the map if nothing is working. You can see something hanging off Tony's bike.
Looks like a sticker or something.
Yeah, a sticker or something flopping off. So if there was a map change that the Westby Racing rider wanted to do, it would be in this part of the racetrack when you're not using any of the traction control or any of the wheelie control. So now would be the spot if you wanted to make a map change.
Yep. Well, yeah, there's down this back straightaway. I'm interested to see why Matthew's looking back midway down that back straight. I mean, it's normally a spot where you've got your head down. He did look back coming out of turn 6 and saw these guys behind him.
This is where setup of the motorcycle makes a big difference with the tires underneath them. We did see different riders with different setups coming in and had different abuse of that Dunlop rear tire. And so those that set it up, have more experience, can set it up for longer distances and have more tire underneath them. That might be something that Matthew's feeling that we can't see just yet. Sometimes it's a look over the shoulder, who's by me because who's going to attack me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's always nice to know, but I think that they all know each other so well, and they know, they don't know how JD rides in Superbike, but they know JD well enough to know that JD's not going to do anything too crazy. There's a lot of respect between these front 4 guys, no question.
It's early in the season, but part of your screen, you see the live championship points. If it finished this way right now, Tony Elias would hand over the points lead to Cameron Beaubier as we head to round 2 at COTA next weekend.
Cameron's just starting to look to me like he's starting to think about maybe trying to make a pass here soon, Greg. Just by his riding and how he looks, and he's still behind. What do we got to have 5 laps to go when they come through this time?
We're getting to a part of the racetrack where Cameron and his crew wanted to try something this morning, like you said, and that was they wanted the motorcycle to be able to squirt a little bit better out of turn 7 and turn number 12.
JD got in there a little bit deep, Greg. He got into turn 10. You can see he just got in there a little deep. It's going to allow Cameron to have a look as they come into turn 12. And that was all set up because JD just got off the end of the back straightaway. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Greg. When they were coming in, I could see in the rear view out the back of Tony's bike JD just got in there a little bit deep, so he's going to have Cameron to tow him back up to those front 2 guys.
Well, now we're going to see what Beaubier has with clear track in front of him, if he's been holding something back with, like you're saying, about 4.5 laps remaining in this one. It's Tony Elias, number 24, leading the way from number 11, Matthew Skoltz.
Matthew's bike still looks so good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, his bike is not moving around, and, you know, he just looks very comfortable sitting there on that Westby bike. And look at Cam. He went through those S's fast. I'm looking up on my screen right now, 33.4 for Cameron Beaubier through that first split, purple on our screen. He's been sitting there, Greg. I could see it in the last lap that something in his posture had changed just a little bit, and he realizes that he's got 2 guys that are running very close to the same pace, and Matthew Skoltz looks very strong today. So he's not just going to have to deal with one rider. I think he's going to have to deal with both these guys. But you can see, Greg, now he's more concerned. Like he's going to go to the inside of Skoltz. As they come down the back straightaway, he's going to draft by him. And now Cameron Beaubier is ready to start running his race as he's right up behind the back of Tony Elias.
He's never greedy, Cameron Beaubier, is he?
No.
It wasn't like he went by Skoltz and then said, okay, I'm just going to late break it.
He's got himself in the spot, though, that he wants to be in. He's got the guy in front of him that he wants to have. He doesn't want to have anything crazy happen in front of him, and he wants to take all the risk out by having 2 guys in front. And so let's see what this lap is. 24.887, fastest lap of the race.
Oh, Cameron.
And now he realizes, okay, I have 4 laps to go. And you can see this is drafting down the back straightaway. It's a big commitment to go underneath people there as you go down that back straightaway, because if that person starts to move in just a little bit, it can get a little bit tight. But now Cameron's probably, I wouldn't think he's going to go past Tony just yet. I was wrong about that yesterday. He might try to do something with him in turn 10. But don't forget, yesterday we saw him do something with 3 to go, and Tony made a mistake 3 corners later. And that really did help Cameron. Now, Tony's led the entire race. And Matthew looks over the back of his shoulder just a little bit to see if JD's still back there, which he is. Lost a little bit of time.
I don't know. Talking to both these riders, I just think, you know, with what Tony Elias told me earlier today, that once Cameron got around him yesterday, a couple laps, they both were able to study each other. Part of me is thinking to myself, if there was no Matthew Skoltz in the mix right now or JD Beach, you just hang back and then make your move on the last lap, because Tony's so smart and has so much experience. If Cam does it too early, I was looking at the right wrist. I wanted to see if Cameron...
Look at Matthew. See, this is the problem that Cameron's got today that he didn't have yesterday.
Saying,
He's got 2 guys today instead of 1, and that can change how strategies go. Now, he's going to come by this time. He's got 3 to go, and it looks like he's just trying to get down the inside. And look at JD's trying his best to get back on the back of these guys. Matthew was able to... Matthew really gets tucked in nicely behind that fairing. When he was coming down that straight, look how tucked in he is, Greg. And... There's nothing hanging out. That the Westby bike looks really fast, and he's able to at least get into the draft of Cameron and then pull out at the end of the back straightaway. And you can see, eased himself up underneath. The second the rider in front of you cuts over to the right a little bit to open up that entry, if you've been drafting, it gives you a place to just slide up underneath someone. But I don't think either one of them can draft the Yosh bike, do you?
I don't know. I think Cameron's got a shot if he could have some type of really killer double draft at this point. But then the question becomes, do you have the gearing in your motorcycle to be able to handle that double draft and not bounce it off the rev limiter as well?
Yeah, well, Cameron's going to go this lap. He's going to definitely try to do something. Matthew gets a tremendous drive out of turn 7. He is trying so hard to get into the draft of that Yoshimura Suzuki just in front of him. Now we got some traffic. I just saw. But see, Matthew did so good out of turn 7, but Cameron's going to try. Nope, I don't think he's going to be able to do it there. So, got a couple guys up in front of these 3 that we're looking at.
Out of 10B.
All that stuff comes into play.
Oh, we just heard that possibly Kyle Wyman crashed. So Kyle Wyman, late in this race, unfortunately for him, down in this one.
JD lost some time for sure. They should be able to... Oh, there's Kyle. Such a bummer. Not exactly sure when that is. Look at Greg.
I don't know if he's
Here's
down.
what happens. Cameron has gone through.
Yep.
Now they're both going to try to make quick work of Samuel Trepanier here as he goes underneath him in turn 7. Oh, he's not able to make it, Greg.
No,
and that's it.
That could be it.
Yep. And now Sam's trying to get out of the way the best he can, but that really...
Oh, no.
Look, JD's loving it. JD Beach is loving it because it's bringing those guys back in.
All the while, Tony has no idea. He's just got his head down.
Yep. And I'm not sure if there was blue flags out or not in 6 and 7, Greg. I just don't know. But that is the difference. And we've seen this before. I already know what's going to happen. Our screen's going to light up purple, purple, purple as they go into this last lap, because Cameron Beaubier is going to do everything he can to still try to run Tony down. There's no question in my mind.
You want to see a difference in motorcycle attitude as he whips this thing into turn 1. Cameron Beaubier desperate on this final lap to try to reel in, make any time on Tony Elias.
But Matthew's going to go back underneath him.
So that'll foil the plans of Beaubier. So these two now, barring a mistake from Tony Elias, are going to have to scrap it out for second and third and fourth, because J.D. Beach now on the fender of Beaubier, who just made a bit of a mistake.
Yep. And this is, see, if you have a plan and you're trying to have your plan work, when you start catching those back markers and things, it becomes hard. And the back marker definitely had a big play in what happened in this race.
And that's where Tony
separated
was smart.
this field up. Yep.
Tony saw those back markers coming, and he just put the hammer down. Can J.D. Beach, does he have anything left underneath him to even make a bid for third spot? Onto the back straightaway they go. Privateer Yamaha versus factory Yamaha Superbike in the EBC Superbike class. The final lap of this race. Tony Elias looks like he has this one in hand. No one near him to get a draft. And Cameron Beaubier, he's gonna make this move. He's got to.
He's got to have a go.
Schultz tries to go to the inside and pinch it off. Nope. Schultz holding on the brakes.
Solid effort there from Matthew as they got down into that turn 10, 10A. Now he's got to block the inside here. Even if he blocks the inside like he's doing, Greg, see him move over to the right? He just gave Cameron no options of where to go. Tremendous ride by Matthew Schultz.
Coming across the line, it's going to be Tony Elias with his first win of 2019. In second spot, Matthew Schultz on the Westby Racing Yamaha, just ahead of factory star Cameron Beaubier.
Yeah, great job there. You can see Tony, he just had a little baby boy.
He
so
sure
that's
did.
Probably going to be towards him.
That means another month of diapers.
Yeah, that's going to be first win as a dad is what that is. So tremendous effort from Tony. But I think he's going to look back on this race, and he ran the kind of race that he wants to run. He was able to control the pace for the majority of it. But today he had a partner to go with him, and that's Matthew Schultz, and it kind of foiled some of the plans for Cameron. And then, of course, when they got to the back markers, that really hurt Cameron's chance. But take nothing away from Matthew Schultz. He rode amazing today, and that's going to be a big boost of confidence for Chuck Cicchetto and all the guys from Westby Racing.
What a job they have done to get brand new electronics, Magneti Marelli system, the rules of MotoAmerica playing into it, getting maps, and talk about maps all the time, which is just too complicated for my pay grade, but getting that system, Herschel, their guy down there that they got, who's been working on that Magneti Marelli since the mid-2000s, doing a great job. That's
Looks like he's looking for Kyle Wyman. If this is Kyle Wyman that he picks up, Kyle Wyman crashed going down the hill, which is a very fast crash. It is. So he's picking him up, Greg. That's the bottom of the S's. So Kyle must have lost the front.
Does he look like he crashed?
Oh, yeah.
On the left side?
Well, I hope he didn't. I hope the bike broke. But
I'm looking at, it looks like the left.
It would have been the right side that he crashed in going down the hill. And these two guys, it looks like Jeff May. Was he riding around with Kyle, or did something happen? Yeah, it looks like... Yeah, anyways.
I don't know. Yeah, you can see.
Yeah, you can see that he definitely tipped over. Oh, we're going to have a chance to maybe look at that.
Now I'm thinking,
and
oh, man,
so
we got to go to Texas in a few days.
Oh, he ran off the track. He ran off. Oh, and he had to just basically jump off the thing. You get in that grass, it's so wet.
That's why.
And he got wide, really wide. You know what happened, Greg? I'll bet you anything, he lost the front a little bit at the top and tried to get he got the bike, probably saved it, and it went into that air fence nicely. So hopefully the bike didn't get too damaged. And here's Tony giving Kyle a ride back. But when you get into that no man's land on that wet grass, it's especially with that Georgia red clay.
Georgia clay.
It is so slippery.
You'll never get him out of those leathers either.
No, it's just a bummer.
But it didn't look like the bike ended up too bad.
Agreed. Let's hope that Kyle's bike is okay and they got a week, and I know it'll be ready for. He's got great guys down there helping him.
Look, I'm just saying, I hope that the wings that we were talking about earlier made it out okay.
Yep.
I've heard rumor that those things are about $800 a piece.
A piece, huh?
Yeah, you want to be part of that KWR Army to help support his program. No question about it. All right, so back to Victory Circle we go with Tony Elias, Matthew Schultz, and Cameron Beaubier.
He's frustrated. You can see Cameron's frustrated right now, and he just had nowhere to go. In fact, it almost looked like he hit him, but hit the back marker, that is.
So Tony Elias sharing some. All right, so there's the Ducati of Kyle
that's not
Wyman.
too bad. it's not too bad. I know Gary Dean's seen a lot worse.
Yeah, sure. That tank's another one that you want to make sure that the tank made it out all right.
Yep. Yeah.
As we head to Dakota 2, you know, the Ducati MotoGP team will be there. And from what I understand, might be paying a visit to Kyle Wyman.
Yep.
Paolo Ciabatti to talk a little bit with Kyle about it.
He's done a really good job this weekend.
So Tony Elias sharing the celebration with the fans. So Tony finally breaks, or Cameron really broke Tony's streak of double wins to start his season in each MotoAmerica season that he's raced here. So Cameron with race 1 victory, and then Tony Elias. JD Beach will finish 4th. Josh Haren will finish in the 5th spot. Jake Lewis on the M4X Star Suzuki finishing 6th. David Anthony, who was 5th yesterday, will collect good points in 7th. Jeff May in 8th. We'll have more on the other side of this break. We'll find out how Tony's race went from Hannah, so don't go anywhere. Let's get right down to Hannah, who has our race winner.
I'm here with Tony Elias. Tony, you led the majority of that race, if not the entire thing. The guys were still putting some serious pressure on you, but you pulled it off. How does it feel to win your first race as a dad?
It's been amazing. Everybody was telling me, oh, you will see, you will suffer. Probably you will lose some balls on the track. But I think I gain balls. This guy is giving me extra motivation, good power. So we are working so good. My team did an amazing job this winter. The bike is good. Just yesterday, everything was not as I planned at the beginning, and today it's been like I was planned. So I started really good. JD was so strong, but then I was trying to lead all part of the race. Behind us was Cameron coming so fast, faster than yesterday. Was super dangerous, but I knew behind was a great battle, also dangerous. So I tried to avoid that situation, and finally we took the win. I'm so happy. Start like this. Yesterday I saved 20 points, could be 0. So 20 and 25, it's amazing. Let's continue like this. Will be super long and super difficult, more than last year. MotoAmerica, it's gonna be a great show. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be a great battles every race, and will be super difficult. We are not quite. Even Cam, even me, Haren will be super tough.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Tony Elias.
Well, Jason, that is the talk. Sometimes when racers have children, they think, oh, I've got to be around now. Others say, I've got to get on the gas like Tony and pay the bills. And that's exactly what he's saying he's doing.
Yeah, no question. Anytime Tony gets attacked, he attacks right back. That's one of the things. And we've also seen Tony fall back in races and then charge towards the end. Here he went underneath Matthew down in turn 10A when Matthew had taken the lead. And Tony was able to get back past him. And really, he controlled the pace most of the race. I don't think his victory today tells the entire story. I think that we were kind of waiting for a big finish at the end.
Yeah.
But Tony got through the back markers the way he needed to go through. Let's get back down to Hannah.
I've got our second place finisher, Matthew Skoltz. Matt, really strong, consistent laps out of you today, putting a lot of pressure on Tony. Tell us a little bit about the battle at the front.
The start wasn't the greatest for me, you know, but I kind of knew that running the 097 tire that I could run a consistent pace throughout. You know, yesterday the race didn't end off too well for us, so I was a little bit angry, and I was riding with a little bit of vengeance today. Tony was very, very quick coming off of corner 7 down the back straight, so it was a little bit hard to pass him. But he had a really good pace up front, so I knew that if I kind of followed him, that we could sort of pull a gap on the rest of the field. I saw that Cameron Bobby and JD Beach, they were right there the whole race. But overall, the boys have been working so hard. You know, yesterday we kind of saw where we could make the bike a little bit better. So, you know, overnight they just dug in, worked hard, and made it so much easier to ride today. I cannot thank the Westby boys. You know, that was absolutely awesome, and you know, we're just going to get stronger from here. And I'd just like to thank Living Good Motors, SBS Brakes, and Superbike. I'm Unlimited. Without those guys, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you to everyone here and everyone who supports me back home.
Great job. Thank you, Matt.
This is the weapon that he needs, Jason.
Yeah, but it goes, again, back to the team. You heard him say his team has given him a great weapon to fight with. I think this is going to do a lot for his confidence. As you can see, this is when the white flag was waving, and he was able to peel it back up underneath Cameron Beaubier as they headed down into turn 1. And at a track like this, it's fast. To beat a privateer team and show that you can run with the factories, as did the number 95 on the left of our screen. For both those teams, I think it's going to be a big boost for them as they head to VIR.
I'm here with Cameron Beaubier. This guy fought his way from the 11th spot on the grid to the podium, not once, but twice this weekend. Tell us how you did it.
Yeah, that one was pretty tough. I was struggling pretty bad out there. I made a couple changes this morning that we didn't get to evaluate this morning in warm-up, so we just kind of gambled in the race, thinking we were going the right direction, and struggled a little bit out there, but those guys are riding really good. JD, Maddie, Tony, they're riding the wheels off those things. Yeah, you know, it's a bummer to kind of got held up there a little with the lapper with Maddie there at the end, that last lap, and that was pretty frustrating. But, I mean, I'll take it. I'll take good points out of here. We're sitting a lot better than we have in the last couple of years. So hats off to my Monster Energy, Yamaha team. They've been working so hard. We had a good off season and really just enjoying going racing with these guys. So Bell, Alpine Stars, and Man Above for keeping me safe. And yeah, move on to Coda.
Our third place finisher, defending champion Cameron Beaubier.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw it. We knew it. We saw it.
Well, he said something very truthful, and that is he's leaving here with a lot more points than he has the last couple of years. We've seen Cameron have a lot of issues, and this is where it happened, right there in turn 7. And it was just enough to balk up this race for second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
And but he's walking out of here with a win and a third, coming from the fourth row in both races. And so, again, Cameron's very positive, and he's got a bucket load of points as they head to Coda next weekend.
That's the way you come to the racetrack.
Yeah,
Get your
perfect,
motorcycle out. Let's take a look at some highlights from this race.
Well, this is the key moment of the race, really, for all of us here, Greg. We just had a back marker get in the way, and it happens occasionally in racing, and it's a shame. But it just broke up that battle that we were kind of waiting for on the last lap. And but like I said, it is part of racing. This guy here is going to be happy. He's going to get on a plane, go back, see his new son. Actually, he might be going straight to Coda, but you can see he's more motivated than ever.
He's going back to see his little boy.
He's going to go back to see his kid, isn't he? Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
You know, just dip a toe back home and give a little kiss. Let's take a look at the championship standings, Jason, because we have Tony Elias leading the way, 45. To Cameron Beaubier is 4 points back with 41. Matthew Skoltz in the mix at 12. J.D. Beach with a heap of points for himself. David Anthony in 5th.
I love seeing Dave Anthony in 5th. Really
Wouldn't
good.
predict that. Thought Josh Haren might be up the leaderboard a little bit further, but he's had some miscues so far. He'll get those sorted out as we continue on with this season.
And he got points today, which was good for Josh Haren, because after his mistake yesterday, just to be able to get some points and get out of here is good. Kyle Wyman in 10th. And then I'm back down through the field. I think that when you look at this race, the things that you're going to take away from Superbike is, number one, it's going to be extremely competitive. I think with some of the tracks that we have coming, all the things started kicking off last year at Road America. But Coda next weekend should be interesting because it's more of a drafting track. There's a lot of first gear corners, so we could see some different things. But by the time we get to VIR, some of these teams and some of the other bikes had ridden more, like Kyle Wyman. VIR always gets very close racing.
Coverage of Road Atlanta's MotoAmerica Superbike Championship. We certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. Well, for Hannah Lopa and Jason Pridmore, I'm Greg White. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you in a week's time from Circuit of the Americas.